Hi, lovelies. Welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie Rose, and I have a bone to pick. Some grown-ass people really act like children. It astounds me when someone in their 70s is still acting like a juvenile. Don't get me wrong, I'm compassionate. I believe in being kind because probably they are sick, they're stuck, and they're still living in an insane mindset. But that doesn't mean that I have to put up with it or accept that behavior toward me. When it is ignorance or insolence, it's probably because they have not been taught or shown proper behavior. Maybe not in their entire life, in their 70 some odd years. So today, an older gentleman came into the store and he was already grumpy to begin with. But when he came up to me, first of all, he demanded a discount. I went ahead and gave it to him. I don't really want to have that argument. I went ahead and just did the discount. Then he demanded that his things be double bagged. His things were too important. They had to be double bagged. That's fine. That's fine. His behavior was rude, but that doesn't mean he isn't entitled to those things. They were perfectly reasonable expectations, and they're in the purview of my job to provide them. And no, I don't like that he said it in a rude way, but it doesn't really matter. Most people, to be completely frank, most people are very rude. They are. They just are. So the problem happened when I went to hand him his change. He got a disgusted look on his face and dropped one of the pennies on the counter. And I kind of looked at him inquisitively, and he said, "It looked like it had a disease." So I pick up the little change cup. We have a little change cup, give it, like, leave a penny, take a penny sort of thing. I hold out the cup to him and I say, "Here, would you like to put it in the change cup?" He would not touch that penny. He refused to touch it. And so what did I do? I reached over with my bare hand and I snatched that penny up and I tossed it in the thing. And I also made sure to give a little teacher look, like, really? Now, I wanted him to understand that this behavior was ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous and insane. He seemed a little perturbed by my reaction and he left in a huff. Great. That's great for me. He's gone. I can go on with my day. But I bet you he will not come back and act that way to me. Does that mean that he is going to just change his behavior because I taught him better? Probably not. No. But at least he's probably not going to behave that way with me. And if he does behave that way with me, then I know that I need to step up my boundary. That boundary needs to be set, it needs to be firm, and I need to stick to it. Now, let's be clear about why this is an issue. This is a dirty penny. A dirty penny, which I kept, by the way. Dirty penny. That's it. Yeah, it's dirty penny. It's from 1987. It has been rolling around in change drawers and people's pockets for a long, long, long time. Like, what is that, 40 years? Okay. So, yes, it's dirty. Does it have a disease? No. No, it does not have a disease. And what's even more ridiculous about this is it was rolling around in that drawer with the 3 other pennies that he decided to keep, the ones he put in his wallet. Wouldn't, by logic reasons, wouldn't that logic and reason, wouldn't that mean that those pennies also had a disease? Not to mention, even just being in the cash drawer, but when I handed them to him, they're all bunched together. So, and that's not the only thing. That dollar, that dollar bill that he carefully slid into his wallet, that he's probably going to have his fingers all over later, that was riding in a sweaty, dirty bra all day before it was spent at our store. So, in short, the fact that this grown-ass man would leave it to me to pick up that dirty penny off the counter and put it into the change, he could have donated all that change, to be honest, but he didn't. The fact that he left it to me was juvenile. It was a childish thing. In my opinion, it really is on level with like a child that needs to spit out their gum. And I held up my hand and they spit their gum out and I can go throw it away for them. That's how juvenile that is. Further, for him to think that 1 penny has a disease while the 3 other pennies that he kept did not is actually a disconnect from reality and pretty crazy. So that's fine. If this man wants to act like a juvenile, that is his business. He has more than enough right to act that way. He also has a right to be crazy and live in a delusional world where 1 penny has a disease. However, that does not give him a right to expect me to clean up after him or to look at me like, how dare I give him a diseased penny? Now, this is such a silly story and such a small issue, but this is how we keep issues small. Do not allow yourself to be a doormat, ever, even for 1 little dirty penny. You are worth way more than that. As conscious beings, we must set the example, and sometimes that means setting boundaries. Kindness and compassion does not mean fake smiling and accepting poor behavior. In fact, that mask does a lot more harm than it does good for all the people involved. If a grown-ass adult is exhibiting behavior that is juvenile and is affecting you, set a firm boundary and make it a teachable moment if possible. This is how we all can grow and ascend. Keep rising, lovelies. I love you all.